I'm the Doctor. Which Doctor? There are loads of Doctors. Doctor Mysterio. Doctor Who, The Return of Doctor Mysterio, written by Stephen Moffat, and this is the only episode of Doctor Who we are getting in 2016. I am not kidding, because after Stephen Moffat recently resigned as head writer and has been replaced by Chris Chibnall, they postponed Series 10 for 2017, and yeah, this is the only episode we're getting this year, so please be good, please don't suck, because of course, as we all know, even Moffat's Christmas specials over the past couple of years, Last Christmas and The Husbands of River Song, they have not been great. They have been pretty meh. I haven't watched them ever since I saw them on Christmas Day 2014 and 2015, and I don't have much desire to check them out again anytime soon. But yeah, not only that, but Stephen Moffat's writing for Doctor Who past few years has not been great. We all can admit the show has really gone downhill the past couple of years, and especially Hellbent. That series finale was, God help me when I talk about that one. That was absolutely hellishly awful, and that ruined Series 9 for me. But anyway, I was as low expectations as I had for this episode, given Stephen Moffat would be writing it, and it was a Christmas special. I did have hopes at least it would be good. I mean, a superhero in Doctor Who is an interesting idea. I thought at least I was hoping for a decent, fun episode, and I just was eagerly awaiting 5:45 that day on Christmas Day. So I just put my feet up, put my Santa hat on, had a nice warm cup of cocoa, and I sat down and watched the episode with my mum. And what did I think? Well, I can at least say I enjoyed it, surprisingly. It's good. I think this is easily the best Christmas special Stephen Moffat has written so far. But even if it isn't a great episode, nor my favourite Christmas special ever, but it's still good. Thankfully, the positives this time greatly outweigh the negatives. First of all, I love the idea that this episode is a parody of superheroes. It's basically a Superman just done with Doctor Who, adding some sci-fi elements to it, and that's great fun. It makes for a really entertaining experience on Christmas Day. Granted, this is the only Christmas special that actually is somewhat original, as it doesn't feel like a Christmas special despite airing on Christmas Day. It never mentions Christmas, it doesn't have any Christmas trees, it doesn't have any snow, but that's at least different. That's at least some originality, finally. And a superhero in Doctor Who, far from a bad idea, even if the ghost hero is just a basic hero with just a basic flying strength and vision, as he says. It's done in a clever way how he got his powers. It starts out with this kid who's obsessed with comics and superheroes, and the opening is great when he meets the Doctor just hanging out of the window. The Doctor's hanging on for his life. That was so funny, and the Doctor's carrying a gemstone which he tells the kid to hold on, and because the kid has a cold, he accidentally swallows the gemstone, giving him just unnatural power, which is a great sci-fi way of explaining how he got the powers. Finally Stephen Moffat explaining things as not just making up shit as he went along. Though I do think it was a bit odd to show in the beginning, to cut back from the main story and then show the kid at school in a flashback. I mean, couldn't they have just told the kid's backstory in the opening, rather than oddly cutting back between the real present day story and the flashbacks? That would have been done better, but oh well, that's a minor nitpick. And the best character in the episode, I can gladly say for me, is Lucy Fletcher, the reporter. She's obviously based on Lois Lane, but as a companion, she is perfect. I mean, she's so smart, witty, and badass, and she has a lot of struggles having to look after her daughter after her husband just left her for whatever reason, and she has a sweet relationship with our hero, the Ghost, or as he's disguised as her daughter's nanny. And it's a classic fun parody of Superman and Clark and Lois's romance, where Lucy doesn't know that the Ghost, the hero who she loves, is actually her nanny, who she's just been ignoring, although he's always been there for her. And at the end, she comes to the realization that the Ghost is him. It's always been him, and they very sweetly confess their love. And yeah, and Lucy, and she looks fine. She is beautiful. She looks particularly gorgeous in a red dress in the date scene. Damn. Justin Chatwin's a very lucky guy, but yeah, she's just a perfect companion. I'm like, why can't she be the new companion for Series 10? Why does she only show up in one episode and then we never see her again? In Series 10 we could learn so much more about her. She could grow as a character. She could form a great friendship with the Doctor, and she's not a girl in her 20s from London. She's actually an American companion. We haven't had an American companion since Doctor Who the movie. She looks a much better and more interesting companion than Pearl Mackie as Bill. It just seems like a wasted opportunity. The performances for the most part are all around solid. Peter Capaldi always great as the Doc, so he really deserves the best scripts to work with. And Matt Lucas returns. We saw him in The Husbands of Riversong, and while he doesn't really do much here apart from just being the Doctor's assistant who tags along and moves the plot along, he is great fun and his one-liners are great. He was, of course, a genius comedian with the first 2 seasons of Little Britain, but he's kind of making up for the mistakes of a Little Britain season 3 and Come Fly With Me here, which I'm glad about. I love setting of New York. It's a nice change of setting for a Christmas special to see New York rather than London. I really hope Doctor Who doesn't become too Americanized. I hope it still remains the greatest British show ever made, because that's what it is. And I loved the pacing of this episode because it's so much fun and puts a big smile on your face on Christmas Day. It just flew by. It actually finally a Christmas special that didn't bore me, that didn't drag. This probably the most fun Christmas special since the Christmas Invasion. Yes, I would go that far. But I'm afraid, guys, as fun as I had with this episode, as much as I think Stephen Moffat kind of redeemed himself, this episode isn't perfect. It still could have been better, and the Christmas Invasion is still my favourite Christmas special. But here's what bothered me about the episode that prevented it from being something greater. First of all, the biggest problem with this episode, I'm afraid, is Justin Chatwin's performance. Now, Justin Chatwin, of course, played as Tom Cruise's son in Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds remake, and he was the weakest performance in that film, and he was, oh my gosh, he gave some of the worst acting ever, as we all know, in Dragon Ball Evolution. That absolute disgrace to a classic anime, which, oh boy, I'm gonna rant about one day, don't you worry. But anyway, getting back to Doctor Who, here, why would they cast Justin Chatwin in this role? I'm sorry. While he isn't terrible, this isn't his worst performance, because the script, thankfully, isn't as bad here. But he's just not very good. He gives such a bland and emotionless performance. He really doesn't look like he gives a shit or wants to be there. I can think of many better actors they could have cast in the role. But anyway, at least he had the other members of the cast who all did great to make up for that. And also, the villains were pretty underwhelming and pretty weak. Stephen Moffat is known for having underwhelming antagonists lately. Stephen Moffat used to write great villains. The Empty Child, the Clockwork Droids, the Weeping Angels, the Vashnav Narada. Why have your antagonists been so weak and boring recently? That I mean, they're just brains with eyes, really. While they are creepy, it's horrific, and seeing them just cut out your brain to harvest it, but their motivation is pretty weak. They're just not very memorable in comparison to the other classic Doctor Who monsters. And not only do they only appear really in the beginning and towards the end of the episode, throughout the middle they are almost completely absent. They really don't do or come up much or come across as a threat nearly as much as they should. But despite those problems, the episode overall was an enjoyable ride, and I do like the ending and the resolution, how Lucy and the ghost got together, but I would have preferred it if she came in the TARDIS with the Doctor, but oh well, I hope this isn't the last time we see her. And I do like that they nicely concluded the River Song storyline with Matt Lucas informing them that the Doctor has moved on from River Song after she sacrificed herself in the library, just like we saw in Silence at the Library. Although I'm not the biggest fan of River Song, that was a nice way to conclude her love story with the Doctor. So overall, a surprisingly enjoyable Christmas romp. Not my absolute favourite Christmas special by any means. That's still Christmas Invasion 11 years later, but I enjoy it for what it is, and I actually wouldn't mind seeing it again. I give The Return of Dr. Mysterio 3.5 stars out of 5. So yeah, good job, Stephen Moffat. Thank you for giving us at least a fun Christmas special. So, and I at least look forward to Series 10 next year with Pearl Mackie. Oh well, I at least hope she's good. I really do. I'm praying she's good. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what do you think of this year's Christmas special? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Be following us at Google Plus, and I will be continuing my Doctor Who Series 3 reviews next year, and of course Series 10. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you all then. Bye, guys.